So hello. Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and also support my small business at latricelemonade.com. So as you guys know, Biden did this whole, he had the CARE Acts for the forbearance of the student loans. And then it's this new thing where it's like, okay, we're going to just cancel $10,000 to $20,000. And I did a video on this previously of student loan debt. Okay, so it all depends on what kind of student loans you had. Pell Grants was really what it was, and how much you make and all that. Okay, so there's some other information that I found out. Okay, I actually found this out about 3 days ago, mind you, and I'm like, this real? Okay, so you can actually, and I have it here. It says those who have paid off student loans can get a refund under the federal forgiveness plan. So I'm like, what you talking about? And I looked and they were like, call them. And I'm like, call them. I'm like, but doesn't the application come out later? And then they were like, do this. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. So I'm going to give you my experience with doing all of this. All right. So essentially what I ended up doing, I got notes, but I ain't even going to look at them. So essentially what I ended up doing, I did my research, looked at other things, other people's, research that they did, combined them. And I'm like, okay, this is what I got to do. So what I did was, first, you need the number to whoever is holding your student loans. Okay. So whatever company that is who you have to call. All right. So that's what I ended up doing. For me, I have Nelnet. All right. So that's what I ended up doing. First, let me just preface this by saying my student loans are paid off 100% in full. Okay, so my situation is different than other people's situation who still owe something, but my stuff is already paid off. So what you have to do first is your stuff paid off, or during the whole forbearance period, did you make at least one payment? All right. So how they're looking at it is from March 13th. 2020 until now. I'm making this right now, September 2nd, 2022. Okay. So from March 13th until now, have you made a payment? Yes or no? Yes. I paid mine off completely. All right. So what you would do, at least for Nelnet, this is Nelnet specific. Okay. Yours may vary. You may have had to have the full sheet, but from what I understand, you don't even really need to have that. But this is just Nelnet in particular. This is what I use. So what I did was I got the number, went and called them. I called them on a Tuesday at like 7:19 or something like that p.m. All right. So in mine, they closed at 9 p.m. So I called them. I was on the phone for less than 10 minutes. After the whole automated thing, you put in you're supposed to have your social security number, your birthday, and all that. You put that in there, then she verifies it with your address, your email, and all that. So you then say, this is what I said. Hey, I would like to request a refund for the interest-free payments I made during the forbearance. All right. And then she's like, okay, how much are you looking? What days are you looking for? Or are you looking for all of it? And I said all of it. So if you're for whatever the reason, I don't know why people would do this, but if for whatever the reason is, you're one of those people that only want to get like $500 back or whatever you paid, you only want to get like a payment back, you could do that. But if you like everybody else, you want all your money back. Okay. So say, yes, I want all of it. Okay. And that'll be from March 13th, 2020 until now. All right. So then she put me on hold for a little bit so she could calculate, do all this other stuff and whatnot. And then she said, your accounts will be reopened. Got off the phone. So this is essentially what's going to happen. All right. And this is how it should happen. Now, everything's new. A lot of these companies don't have all the answers because it is so new. Okay. And they're being bombarded and flooded constantly from a lot of people who try and get their money back. All right. So essentially what's going to happen is your accounts are going to be reopened. All right. All your accounts, they're going to be reopened. So however much money you spent on how much you paid, they're going to be reopened. Okay. Then they're going to send you a check or direct deposit. Okay. So you have a check, paper check, or direct deposit, depending on how you paid for it. I did mine direct deposit it. So mine should come back to my bank account, not necessarily a check, but everything's up in the air right now. Okay. So your account's reopened, you get a check. Then at the end of the year, that's when the forbearance is going to be lifted. Okay. So sometime around there, they should, or January, whatever the case may be, not necessarily sure yet. Sometime they're supposed to then wipe out these people's accounts of the 10, 20, up to 10, up to 20, however much it is for your particular situation. They're supposed to wipe that out of your account. Okay. So now you have zero, and then you got that check, whether it's direct deposited or a paper check, and that's yours. That's your refund. Okay. So I'm gonna say it again. So they open up your accounts. Now all your accounts are reopened. You get your check. The account is supposed to go to zero or minus however much it's supposed to be down to. And then you get to keep your check. Now here's some things. How does it affect your credit score? I don't know. No one knows yet, because technically you already paid these off. And when you close an account, that's how crazy credit is. When you close an account, you pay it off and it will lower your score. Okay. Granted, now you don't have debt, but you just close an account, so it messes with the history. So how does it affect credit? Also, the applications. Oh, and that's also another thing, very important. You have to fill out the application. When is it going to be out? We don't have an exact date, but it is early October of 2022 this year. Of course, next month. It's supposed to be early October is when it's supposed to be opened up. Okay. It's supposed to be available, and it closes at the end of the year, December 31st, 2022. Okay. That's also when the forbearance ends. Now, when you're having your account reopened in this particular situation, you have to see after it's reopened, and it will take, I did mine 3 days ago. It's still not reopened today. I was reading that it may take like a week at least. So it'll take time. So just keep checking it. All right. But something that you have to do, see if you are opt in or opt out of the CARES Act forbearance. Okay. Because if you are opt out, they may be saying, okay, next month you owe your monthly payment. Okay. If you're opt in, and you could just ask them to opt you in. If you're opt in, you still have the forbearance until the end of the year. So it's a lot of stuff that's still it's a little sticky. We don't know necessarily the days to which it will happen. Okay. We don't know necessarily when he's going to, be like, okay, we're going to cut 10, 20,000 off. We don't know exactly when that day is going to be. Could that be at the beginning of January? Maybe. February? Maybe. We don't have the exact days, and they also don't have the exact days. They were even saying like, yeah, with your refund, yeah, you may get it like 7 to 12 weeks. What? That's a huge difference, so, and it also depends on what company that you have. And I messaged her, I asked her, I was like, so what should I be expecting on here? An open account. I'm like, okay, but what all am I getting someone to message me, or how is that looking? And they said that someone will follow up, because here's the thing. You also got to see if you're eligible for it, which mine should be eligible for it. So I'm like 90% sure everything's good. And that's also something I was reading about. A lot of people, they are just like, yeah, it may or may not be 100%. So no one really knows 100% how it's going to be, what it's going to look like. But this is what we know so far. So that's the process if you are one of those people that made a payment or paid it off completely. For people who have not paid it off or made a payment at all during this whole forbearance, like I said, the application opens up early October. We don't have an exact date yet, but you would do that. You'll fill it out and whatnot. And then whenever they cancel it is when they'll cancel it. But yes, if you made a payment or if you've completely paid it off, yes, your process is a little different. For me, I got lucky and I didn't have to be on hold. I was on the phone for less than 10 minutes. Other people, they've been on the phone for hours, okay, on hold because of the time that they did it and how early they did it, So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Hopefully you guys, could get your money back, okay, because we all need to make some money around here, and if you could get your money back, or if you could just automatically just get your stuff, that would be great. As I said, just know they don't automatically opt you in for that. You have to fill out an application that comes out next month. So until then.